You didn't plan for this. One day everything was fine, and then it wasn't. The relationship, the money, the career, the identity you spent years carefully building. Gone, crumbling, or quietly slipping away right now while you pretend you're okay. And the worst part? Nobody is coming to save you. Not your friends. Not the universe. Not some motivational quote. You are sitting alone with the full weight of it, wondering if you have what it takes to survive this. Most people collapse here. They scroll. They numb out. They become smaller, quieter versions of themselves. But there is another path. A path walked by a man who ruled the greatest empire on earth while losing his children, facing betrayal, enduring plague, and watching everything fall apart. His name was Marcus Aurelius, and he left you the blueprint. Marcus Aurelius was not a monk sitting safely in a temple writing philosophy. He was a Roman emperor surrounded by war, political betrayal, epidemic disease, and personal grief that would have destroyed most men. His private journal, the Meditations, was never meant to be published. It was a man rebuilding himself every single day through deliberate thought. Epictetus, a former slave who had everything taken from him, said this: "Men are disturbed not by things, but by the opinions about things. Chaos is not the problem. Your relationship with chaos is the problem." These two men lived in completely different worlds and reached the same, unbreakable conclusion: the mind is the only real battlefield. Here's the reframe that changes everything. Falling apart is not failure. It is the forge. Every identity, every empire, every version of strength you have ever admired was built inside pressure, not comfort. This video is not motivation. Motivation fades in 48 hours. This is a rewiring. 8 lessons that will permanently shift how you think, how you respond, and who you become when everything goes wrong. And stay until the final lesson, because lesson 8 is the one nobody talks about. The most dangerous truth Marcus Aurelius ever accepted. The one that actually makes a man unbreakable. If you leave before it, you will miss everything. Let's begin. Before we go further, drop the words "I am unbreakable" in the comments right now. Not because it is a game, because declaring identity under pressure is a Stoic practice. The moment you write it, something shifts inside you. You are not just watching a video, you are choosing who you are. Drop it now and let's go. Lesson 1. Stop running from the fire. Walk into it. You have been treating your pain like an enemy. Something to escape, manage, or numb as fast as possible. That is the lie modern culture sells you. That discomfort means something is wrong with your life. The Stoic principle is the exact opposite. The obstacle is the path. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." James Stockdale, a soldier imprisoned in Vietnam for 7 years, did not survive by staying optimistic. He survived by accepting the full brutal reality of his situation and finding agency inside it. He stopped fighting what he couldn't change and started building what he could control. Your action step. Look at the one thing you have been avoiding all week. Don't manage it from a distance. Walk directly toward it. The pain is not blocking your path. It is your path. Pressure reveals what comfort never could. Lesson 2. You are not the storm. You are the one watching it. You keep trying to control outcomes. The result. The relationship. The return on years of hard work. And when it doesn't go your way, you feel completely destroyed because you tied your entire identity to something you never actually controlled. Epictetus split all of reality into 2 columns: what is up to us and what is not. Your response is always in column 1. Everything else lives in column 2, and chasing column 2 will cost you your sanity. A surgeon performs a perfect operation and still loses the patient. He cannot control that outcome, but he can control whether he reviews his decisions honestly, shows up the next morning, and refuses to let one result define his capability forever. Your action step: write down everything overwhelming you right now. Circle only what you can directly act on. Let the rest go, not with surrender, but with surgical clarity. Your peace lives permanently in column 1. Lesson 3. The voice in your head is either your weapon or your prison. Most people are losing the war before they ever leave the house, because of the conversation happening inside their own skull. I can't handle this. I'm not strong enough. This always happens to me. That internal narrative is not truth. It is habit. A very old, very destructive habit. Marcus Aurelius woke up every single morning and had to manually remind himself to face the day. He wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." He spoke to himself like a commanding officer addresses a soldier, not with false positivity, but with precision and expectation. A young boxer knocked down in the 3rd round has 2 choices: narrate defeat or command recovery. His inner voice decides which story becomes real before his body even stands up. Your action step: replace "I can't survive this" with "I have survived everything so far." Because you have. Every single time. Stay with this, because Lesson 5 contains the most counterintuitive Stoic idea you will ever hear. One that sounds like giving up but is actually the source of all real power. Don't leave early. Lesson 4. Strength is not the absence of pain. It's what you do next. Here is what Stoicism is not: emotionless. It is not suppression. It is not performing calm while your chest is on fire. Marcus Aurelius lost several of his children. He grieved. He felt the full weight of it. But he refused to let grief become permanent identity. The Stoic does not avoid emotion. The Stoic processes emotion without becoming enslaved by it. Think of a father who receives devastating news one evening. He cries. He sits in the dark. He lets himself feel the complete weight of what has happened. And then, the next morning, he stands up and becomes exactly what his family needs him to be. That is not weakness dressed as strength. That is discipline at its deepest and most human level. Your action step: give yourself 24 hours to feel it completely. Cry if you need to. Then stand up. Feel everything. Collapse for nothing. Lesson 5. The catastrophe living in your head is a liar. Your mind is running worst-case scenarios right now and treating them as guaranteed certainties. The business fails. The relationship ends completely. People judge you publicly. You lose everything you built. And here you are, suffering twice. Once in imagination, and once if it actually happens. Marcus Aurelius practiced something called negative visualization, deliberately imagining loss, not to create fear, but to dissolve it. When you sit with the worst case clearly and calmly, you realize something powerful. I could survive even that. A writer who fears rejection sends nothing. A man who fears failure builds nothing. But the man who says clearly, even if this collapses, I will still be standing. That man moves through life without chains dragging behind him. Your action step: write your worst-case scenario on paper. Then write exactly how you would rebuild from it. Fear loses its power completely the moment you hold it in the light. Lesson 6. When everything falls apart, build one small ritual and defend it. Chaos wants to take everything from you, including your structure. And when your structure goes, your identity goes right along with it. This is why people in crisis become completely unrecognizable to themselves, not because they are fundamentally weak, but because the daily scaffold of their routine collapsed entirely. Marcus Aurelius began every single day with deliberate reflection. Not because life was calm, it never was, but because the ritual created a fixed, unmovable point inside the chaos. When a man loses his job, his relationship, or his direction, the first thing he must do is build one anchor. 1 hour, one non-negotiable habit, one ritual that declares, I am still here. I still choose how I begin. Your action step. Choose one micro-routine, a morning reflection, a daily walk, one written page. Do it tomorrow without exception, without negotiation. Small rituals defended consistently build unbreakable men. Lesson 7. Stop absorbing what was never yours to carry. You are carrying other people's panic as though it were your personal responsibility. Their judgment, their chaotic expectations, their unprocessed fear. You have absorbed all of it into your nervous system, and now you wonder why you cannot think straight. Marcus Aurelius governed during one of the deadliest plagues in Roman history. Everyone around him was panicking publicly. He wrote in his private journal, calmly, deliberately, about how to remain completely centered while the world fractured. Not cold, centered. There's a critical difference between empathy and absorption. You can care deeply about someone's pain without drowning inside it alongside them. A doctor does not catch the disease to understand the patient's suffering. Your action step. Identify one relationship or environment that is consistently draining your mental clarity. Build a deliberate boundary around it, not with hostility, but with self-respect. You cannot pour from empty. Protect your stillness like your survival depends on it. It does. Lesson 8. The most dangerous truth Marcus Aurelius ever accepted. This is the one. The lesson everyone skips because it makes them uncomfortable. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Loss is nothing else but change, and change is nature's delight." He had accepted, completely, without performance, that everything he loved would eventually end. His empire, his children, his own body, his name. And instead of that truth making him hopeless and paralyzed, it made him ruthlessly, ferociously present in every single moment he had. Here is the dangerous reframe. You have been waiting for life to become stable before you fully commit to actually living it. But stability is not coming. It never was. The man who accepts impermanence stops wasting precious energy resisting what cannot be changed, and redirects that energy entirely into building, loving, and creating with full force right now. Your action step. Stop waiting. Whatever you have been postponing until things calm down, begin it today. This exact moment. This life will not return. 8 lessons. One man. 2,000 years ago. And every single word still cuts directly into the exact pain you are carrying right now. Walk toward the obstacle instead of away from it. Own your response completely. Command your inner voice with precision. Feel everything without collapsing under the weight of it. Face your worst case in clear daylight. Build your daily ritual and defend it without negotiation. Protect your energy from other people's chaos. And accept the full, unfiltered weight of being alive, not with defeat, but with fire. You are not watching this video by accident. Something inside you already knows you are built for exactly this moment. The version of you that emerges from this pressure, this collapse, this chaos, will be the most powerful version you have ever been. Not despite the falling apart. Because of it. You were never meant to escape the storm. You were meant to become it. If this video hits something real inside you, do not let that feeling quietly disappear by tomorrow morning. Make one clear decision right now. Hit the like button, not for the algorithm's sake, but because you chose to invest in your own mind today, and that decision deserves acknowledgement from you. Drop "I am unbreakable" in the comments below, because identity is built through deliberate declaration, and every Stoic philosopher understood this deeply. Subscribe, not because I am asking you mechanically to click a button, but because if these 8 lessons gave you even one real shift in how you see your life, there are 50 more waiting for you on this channel. Every single week. Same depth. Same intensity. Same uncompromising commitment to changing how you think. The world does not need more people who merely survive. It needs people who become unbreakable on purpose. Marcus Aurelius made that choice inside a collapsing empire. Now it is your turn. Go be unbreakable.